Hello. Just want to test to make sure that's working. Hard to say sometimes. Of course, my AI voice is chugging along, doing its usual thing where it wants to cut out now and then, even though I've checked this thing out over and over. Oh God, I wish I could just talk like Billy. That would make this so much easier. Let's see. Yeah, I've clocked my GPU down to try to compensate for this, but it's still not working. I figured if I underclocked it, it would actually not cut out as much. It's doing all right, I guess, so far. I am live, right? It would seem so. And checked it from, YouTube directly. Well, this page says I'm logged into the wrong account. Alright, let's see what we got going on with the, click on my own account and see what it does. Yep, speaking of the live stream is live. Awesome. So, yeah, didn't expect anybody on. So, unless and until people show up, I will probably just figure on doing some activity in the meantime, like play a small of a game or something. Was gonna go to bed pretty soon, but if we got some people show up and they have some questions for me, then I'll, of course, stay on. But I was just kind of feeling a little funky tonight. Not in a weird way, but just not in one of the best of moods. I'll tell you, I was at my current reality mom's house, right? And we were getting together to watch a championship football game, and my team got blown out. Not by a huge margin, like 20 or so points, right? But a lot of people were expecting worse than that, but they couldn't even score a single point in the game. And it just kind of put me in a bad mood because I had, you know, how we always talk about the positivity aspect of things, just think positive, create your own reality and such. And I, wanted my team to win, but they didn't. So it just kind of put me in one of those, well, can I make things happen or not attitudes. And I guess the best thing to come to realization on this type of situation is that when you have more than one person involved in a manifestation, it really makes it difficult to bring it about. If you're not affecting yourself directly and only yourself directly, then you're going to have a lot of factors involved. So rooting for a specific sports team to win a game is a no-go when manifestation is concerned, unless everyone else is buying into it. And we had this entire week of build-up where the narrative was that the team was going to lose, so of course everyone bought into it. So it's me and a few others against the world, basically. So what I'm trying to say is, collectively, if we could all get on the same page, maybe we could make things happen. But if we continuously divide ourselves, then we're not going to be able to do that, right? So there you go. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy my New background there. I just generated that with the Leonardo.ai program, and I like how it has a heart shape to the revelation of the sky, the clouds, and the moon there, and then the girl, and the pink tree with the. Anyway, it's just a very lovely and beautiful representation of what I want to do, because that was what the prompt was. I'm like, type in a beautiful background. I think the prompt was a beautiful background that represents a lovely person, aka me, who wants to help the entire world be happy and become who they truly are. And that's what it produced for me. So there you go. Anyway, oh, Layla's on, says, hi, hello Layla, thanks for joining. Sorry about the rambling. Just, you know how it goes with me, a little impromptu, a little bit unplanned, whenever I feel like it sometimes. I know that I got a meeting for the Discord server tomorrow, so I'll probably be doing this again, but I won't be putting it live streaming on YouTube. It'll probably just be directly on Discord, so a little bit of more listening to what everyone's got concerns about rather than talking, but I don't know what I could do on the machine without stressing the because I got AI running on my gaming machine here, so I know I got maybe I can have something besides that screen you're looking at. Get something exciting going. I got Super Mario All-Stars. I did that last time. Didn't I have that, yeah, I do. Probably have to update it, though. I thought a trick, though, that makes it not skip so much, but I don't know if it's worth it. So I had the 3DS emulator on here, too. Yeah, I'll update it. Why not? Need to run it. I'm not for a while. On things sound smoother. I don't know. Wayla asked, you like Subliminal? Haven't listened to it myself yet, but I like the concept. I mean, I like how simple you make it. I think we sometimes get a little complex and complicated with the affirmations when it comes to these things, that the more we make on them, the more our subconscious has to latch on to. So, but it's very concise and it's to the point, which is what I think we need sometimes. Only got his Metroid on here, huh? I thought I had the Zelda one. I know I got the Zelda one on the other computer. And then it's gonna be like way too much processing power. I wish I had my Switch on here. I could put the voice output to the streaming PC and use my game computer for the games like I intended. Of course, you never go out to the store and buy that pesky little Switch box. You realize how expensive those things are, though? I went out there to go buy one. It's just a USB switch. It's supposed to be like handle USB 3 on it, and it's like $50 just for one of them, and it has 4 ports on it. It's like, that's a bit expensive to send the USB signal to the other computer and switch back and forth with a button. But I know, it's just kind of one of those things. I'm not made of a ton of money, so I can't go out and just do it, so. I might try getting this going, though. I don't know. Wrong mouse, Bethany. Wrong mouse. We'll pull this up and we'll see how far we can get. Do I have to? I think I have to go to the other. I just put it output on this PC, and I don't know. This might be too much for it to handle. I may not do that. I might try to just run it directly. Layla says, yes, simple affirmations are better because when manifestation not need to be overcomplicated. Yeah, exactly. It's like if you did male to female, you just repeat I am female over and over and over. Consciously or subconsciously, it's going to eventually do something to your physique. But I think we're all different, though. I fact that no, we're all different, so it's very like depending on who you are, it's going to take a specific amount of time. No easy way to put it. Like me, I'm kind of in this like I know that I felt real-time hip change, and not all the way toward the feminine end, because if it had been that, my hips would be way wider than they are. Well, maybe not way wider than they are, a bit like, I don't know, 5 inches or so to the more towards the feminine. Then my waist would have, for lack of a better term, caved in a bit. Because I kind of feel like my ribs are kind of already there. I don't know. It's just like there's parts of me that seems to have shifted towards that, and there's parts of me that haven't. So it's kind of frustrating sometimes. You look in the mirror and you go, well, I can kind of see this, but this part still looks rather towards the male side of things. So how can I conclude that I'm changed at all? It's kind of hard to explain it. I don't know. Maybe I explained it perfectly, but that's what I'm facing. That's why I try not to look in the mirror too much. I fail though. It's like every day, like the first day I get up, I'm looking, and I'm always going down towards the lower half of my body because that's where I've seen the changes. So I'm like, is it changed any further? Has it changed any further? Sometimes I'm like, yeah, it has. And other times I'm like, no, hasn't much. But then again, it's just another day. Gotta detach more. Gotta stop looking. Gotta figure out the right thing to say to myself consciously every night. Because I fluctuate on that too. Sometimes it's like just sit there or lay there rather, and just let it wash over you. And other times it's like, oh, say you're female over and over, but over again in your head, or say your feminine name in your head over and over, that you are that person, or that you're shifting towards that. Not going to land on it specifically what I need to do. I feel sensations all the time, but I always wake up in the same or similar situation I started in. So it's one of those things. And yet we got some people that get to faster, more apparent results. And I'm always happy for that. You know, it's like my goal has always been to, like I said, make people happy, then change them, help them change. I mean, I can't do it for you, but you know what I mean? Just like get them in the right mindset. Of course, I'm always pushing this idea that I stumble across of the chakra balancing and the uh healing of the chakra system. And you know, because if you got blockage, it's more likely related to an emotion that you got rooted down deep inside of you, maybe due to a trauma that you've experienced. And if you can't get beyond and past that, then your shift in reality or your transformation of body slash both of those things is not going to progress at a fast speed. It's going to be kind of like a slow pace or a standstill, depending on how you perceive it. I truly believe we never stop changing. Like we're always going towards what we want, regardless of what it seems like, but it'll go slower for us the more we resist it. And resistance comes in unexpected forms sometimes, and is sometimes in the hidden trauma that we got inside of us that prevent us from moving forward. It's letting go of the past and realizing that the past that we have is not set in stone, and we can choose a new reality and a new memory. Overriding our memories is as simple as taking an existing past memory that we hate or dislike, at least, that is negative and is caused us that trauma, and just simply saying, I choose to make this memory this instead. And remembering that memory being happy instead of sad. Because what happened in the past happened, but it doesn't mean you have to keep revisiting it and living it over and over. You can choose to rewrite it. And when you rewrite a memory, it's the same thing as rewriting the past. You just got to keep on that track, though, and not disregard that as fantasy or fiction. Realize that you've rewritten reality and live that reality that you've rewritten. And do that with all the memories that you have that are getting in the way. That's kind of how subconscious rewriting works. In a sense, it just happens in a more automatic sense rather than consciously trying to do it. Layla says, my dream is to be physically hyper feminine. Sis, I love femininity. Then the best advice I would have for you then, Layla, is to see yourself as already that, because the sooner you do that, the sooner the changes over your life are going to envelop you. And I know that's easier said than done for a lot of us, because like me, I can't just go out there in front of family that I know and just go, hey, I know I look like this, but you know, I'd rather be in a female body and I'd rather have been a girl from birth. Can I do that? It's very hard for me to do that. I know that my family would reject me and the very immediate future for saying something like that. Religion is a big problem because a lot of religious people in my family would actually, for some reason, their religion teaches them that that is wrong, that whatever God is out there created you in a certain image and it's immoral to change it. But I always look at it like this: if God exists, then it's equally immoral for such a God to put somebody in a position where, okay, I'm going to put someone who identifies more with the feminine body and a masculine body. I'm going to tell them they must overcome those urges. I'm going to do that to this person and maybe that person over there and a couple more people. But everyone else, I'm going to put them in the regular body. Why would a God do that? If God really chooses to want us all happy, then why would he would make it hard for some people, but not for others? Why would he give proof that he exists to some people, but not to others? It's like a conversation I had with my mom today of the current reality. Went back and forth, and she's talking about how she felt like God had a purpose for me, And I look at my life as I know it. And in that moment, I honestly took everything I did on the subliminal community and I just put it aside. And I said, because I can't tell her about this life. And I said to her, what has God done for me? What kind of reality do I have? What do I have to be happy for? Right. Then she gave me all the same answers. It's like, God's got a plan for you. God's got a, well, what does does he got a plan for me? Or does he have free will? He can't have both things. Or it wouldn't be fair to have both things because he's got an idea of what he wants me to do. And then he's given me free will to do what I want to do. Yet he doesn't tell me what his plan is for me. And I'm doing what I want anyway. What's the difference? If I don't know if he had told me what he intended for me, maybe I could make a better informed choice about maybe doing what he wanted. But I haven't got a clue about that. All I know is what I did so far in my hidden life as it is helped at least one of you out there change fully from male to female. And that right there is an amazing thing. And no one can take that from me. And I even told myself, if me becoming female means I have to erase that one person's success, I don't want that. I don't want my success to come at someone else's expense. I never have and never will. Anyway. Layla says, the most important thing for we, women, is to be of course, female, feminine, beautiful, healthy, and youthful. Absolutely agree with that, Layla. Absolutely. And I don't even know. It's like, I don't know where this all started for me, really. It's like, those on my Patreon heard a little bit about it, perhaps. But like, for the longest time, I had felt different, And I felt more caring than the average male would, more loving than the average male, out of place. And now and then I'd pray to God because what else could I do? My family had been a semi-religious family, even though I never went to church and always wanted to believe in something greater. So I asked God, could I experience the female life, the female body? I know this is what I am, but can I experience this? And it would be like on a nightly thing for many, many years. Then I let it go for a while because I never got an answer. Or if I got one, it was no. And I got jaded and I got into this atheist phase where I was looking at atheist points of view. Started to lack belief in a God entirely. Started to see their side of things, but I could never completely shake it. It's like something didn't ring true. It's like, it can't just simply be that we live and then we die and there's nothing else. There has to be some point to this. Because inherently, consciously, I feel that. Just doesn't, like, I like to think of myself as an emotional person, but also a logical person at the same time. And I know that it's kind of a contradiction, or maybe not, but a lot of the times, some people look at people who are male as a logical being, and some people look at females as an emotional being in like a stereotypical view. But I suppose if you're like a feminine spirit and you've been existing as in a male form for a while, you're gonna pick up on some of the logical things because that's what you've been forced to do. And I think that your physical form kind of limits the way you are in a sense too. societal, at the very least, will limit that, if not the complete physical form, the way that you can't unleash yourself because how everyone treats somebody who does acts in a contrary way to what their body shows. But I'm just, anyway, too much of a tangent. So, I'm gonna get off of that for a while. Layla says, I hope your job not stress you much. Well, my work is, I don't want to call my job too stressful. I mean, it can be at times, but it's not really stressful per se in a sense, unless, well, I can tell you the most stressful part first, then I'll come back to my other point, but the most stressful part is being told that you have to clean a building in a certain amount of time, uh, which is less than a regular cleaner would get because I'm like a substitute supervisor, right? So I'm expected to get through it quicker. We got 4 hours to clean a building. They want me to do it in 2 hours. And then on top of that, I have to get to the next one as quick as I can and do that other 4-hour account in half the timing to rinse and repeat over and over. And then, if I'm lucky, not get any complaints because I'm, cutting corners because I have no choice. But the worst thing that usually happens, of course, is then there's a complaint and then I'm talked to about it. Like, I need to do better at it. And I just want to tell them, I'm like, you told me I got to do this quicker. You gave me less time to do it. You told me I had to be at this other place at this point. You know this. So why are you getting in my face about not cleaning this other building perfectly? Because I can't do everything. I'm only human. That's the stressful part. But that aside, if I can, in those 2 hours I have, occasionally I can reflect on what's happened during the day, process my emotions, maybe even listen to a subliminal track or two. Not so much lately, but try to get myself in a positive mind space. Which honestly today I haven't really been in much of. I let that football game get to me too much. I think it was just the constant all week, as I might already mentioned, the national media just talking down about my team and saying we had no chance at winning and just totally disrespecting the team and the fans. And it just really wore on me. And it was like, I felt like I was against like the entire world in a sense. You even created a promotional video to try to hype people up, which barely got any attention from even my own family. I don't know. So what mom told me, though, it's not like football games are all that important. But when you got, this is going to sound sad, but when you have so many or so few things to look forward to make you happy during the week, which is kind of what I'm facing right now. And all you ask for is your favorite sports team winning a quote unquote meaningless game. I mean, it was a championship game, but you know what I mean? And you can't even have that happen and they get blown out and it just feels like you're not getting what you want in life and you can't have any bit of happiness. And that's an exaggeration, but I think most people could probably understand what I'm talking about. It may not be a like a football game or a basketball game or anything like that for you. But that one thing that you wanted to go right in your week, that's the only thing you asked for because you're not very greedy at all, and you couldn't get it. It just feels like no one up there is listening to you. Best way I can put it. Layla says you are amazing. You have not a job. Well, I will say, Layla, that that is both a good thing and a bad thing. Because society, on the bad point of view, the society says we must have a job in order to quote unquote earn a living, which I don't agree with. I don't think we should have to earn our living. We didn't ask to be alive, did we? Not that I'm aware of. So why should we have to earn the right to keep living if we didn't ask for it in the first place? And we certainly, like, I didn't ask to be a male as far as I remember, and I know you didn't. And yet here we are. They didn't ask for that part either. With so many things they didn't ask for, we have them. Not a very fair deal. At the very least, we shouldn't have to go to work in order to earn money in order to keep ourselves clothed and fed and housed. That's the part that's unfortunate. But not having a job is freeing too, because you might be able to create independent wealth for yourself if you can come up with a good idea and sell it to other people's other people's service, a product, start your own business. Basically, that's the thing that it opens you to do, is come up with that idea that no one else has ever thought of, which is difficult, but it's not impossible. Ali is on and says, hi, sis. Hello, Ali. Just got a live stream notification from my secondary Android phone of your surprise live stream, sis. Yeah. Like, as usual, like I said, didn't plan it. I had a gut feeling. I was gonna choose between doing this and recording in a reaction podcast on a different channel to that football game. And I'm like, this is much more important to me than that game, even though that game sent me in this mood. It's like, I'm going to talk to people. I'd rather talk to people it had an effect on. That other channel I started has no subscribers and presents my male voice and my male self, and it's like, I'm not even happy with how I sound in it, and I'm not happy with not getting subscribers for it, and I'd rather not present that side of myself to anyone else. My theory is every time I try to do something that has to do with my male identity, it fails on purpose because I'm not meant to be my male self, and that's the universe trying to tell me that. I've had much more traction and many more subscribers with this platform, this this idea than I've ever had with anything else. So as Bethany, I've actually made an impact. As my male self, I don't feel like I have. Oh. Allie also says, haven't felt truly happy in forever and love the photo. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry you hadn't felt happy either, but yeah, I think that I had two choices on the photo and I picked the best one. Like, the girl in the middle, kind of in the middle there, looks really happy, and that's kind of what I want to feel. Put your face against the wind, close your eyes, just feel the happiness flowing and the love that she's at the center of. Because you can see the heart shape there. And Ali says, I don't have a job either. Can't manifest. It's constantly working. Yeah. But feel like all I do is work, sis. All I do. Like, not right now, obviously. But the work week comes up really quick. The weekend's over really fast. Then I'm right back to the daily grind of it. Working jobs is paid slavery, Allie says, and baby AI cat shirts. Well, people love cats. That's something I know for sure. So if you can get that printed on the t-shirt, you got the right slogan there, and a cute enough cat, then yeah, you definitely got something there. Layla says, Allie, you could manifest with any emotion. Yeah, emotions are incidentally key, Layla. That's a good point. I've been watching a lot of trying to figure out what's quote unquote wrong with my situation. And it always comes down to emotion. If you feel, close your eyes and feel the emotion of what it would feel like to, obtain your dream, and you hold on to that feeling. That feeling is undeniably real, whether the image you conjured in your head is deemed as real, right? If you follow me? And as long as you hold on to that feeling, you're drawing closer to that reality. Because that feeling is grabbed from that reality. When you imagine something, you're actually tapping into a alternate reality. So that emotion you capture from it is from that alternate self. If you keep capturing that feeling and embracing and living that feeling as much as you possibly can, you make yourself more and more that person you imagine yourself to be. And the more you behave as the person you don't want to be, the more you stay as that person you don't want to be. It might seem rather simplistic, but that's pretty much how it works. Ali says, maybe make more shorts for your secondary channel. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to find time to do anything even like this, because normally speaking, I would just head to bed and not even do a live stream. And our gut feeling says get rest. Not in this case, even though it kind of still says I need to eventually do that. It's just talk to people. You haven't put up content on your channel for a while. You owe a few people subliminals, and you haven't made them in a while, so gotta at least talk to the audience. No, I lost a patron. That reminds me, it would seem, because I had 12 paid people, and then I just looked on there, now I'm down to 11. And I'm down to under 100. I don't mind saying a month. And a lot of people think $100 helps, and it does, but my dream is to get myself out of financial turmoil, and it's going to take a lot more than that to do it. That's not to put the patrons that have supported me down, because I absolutely, completely and totally appreciate everything they've done, and I humbly thank them for that. And that's not me, like I said, try to put them down. It's just like I've had dreams of making it bigger, looking for the quick fix to the problem. And I guess there is no quick fixes sometimes, unfortunately. So Anyone that helps, I appreciate it. It helps get me by month to month because people have no idea what my financial situation is actually like. I'm in the red, which means negative most of the months, even with a roommate, because I have too much debt. And perhaps I shouldn't be living in a house that is big enough for 3 people. But this is a situation I've been inherited in with my separations. And it's not like I'm a big spender all the time either. That's one of the reasons why I haven't bought that switcher for the computer. Because I haven't even used my Patreon. I need to go buy anything that I needed for the channel because I've needed it to buy food to eat because I've been in the hole in my checking account. That's how bad it's been. So, there's my sob story. Then I need a roof on my house and put out a GoFundMe for that, and I can't get a single donation from even my family on that. Let's see what else we got. I've been ranting too much. Says yes, but it's sometimes real slow. You're welcome, sis. The picture would make a great shirt. Maybe we can print that on a shirt. Yeah. That's to think of a slogan to go with that. I like what you feel is real or something like that. I always say something along those lines. Queen Layla says, cute picture. Yeah. Ali says, I'm doing the exact opposite of working. People also love boring shirts. Yeah, you gotta think of what boring shirt to make though. Ali says, I need more fun distractions so I can manifest better. I got plenty of distractions myself, sis. I don't know. If I had my way, I'd be doing what you're doing. I'd be listening all day. I think that might be what I need to get progress sometimes. But I only got my nighttime listening and doesn't produce a lot of dreams, really, that reflect the messages being put into my mind in any foreseeable way. Like the interesting thing is I had a dream the other night where I was at a wedding reception dinner or something for my current reality wife, but things were kind of different because it wasn't quite the same. And then I saw like her grandmother and I want to say her mom and someone else. I don't remember everybody, but I was in female underwear, no pants on, and I was in front of them, and I felt kind of embarrassed about it, and I kind of hid away. And I had no idea what that even meant, but that's the dream I had. That's the closest thing I've had to any messaging about in my subconscious mind during dreams about what I've been focused on. I know it's kind of a strange thing, but that's kind of what happens most of the time if I have any dreams related to what I'm trying to do. And other times it's a zombie outbreak dream or a school dream or a work dream. And I'm just always asking my subconscious, what are you trying to tell me? I don't speak in metaphor. I don't speak in images. I speak in words. Give it to me plain and simple. Don't try to make me guess. If you're going to have a dream about something, make it easy. Layla says if negativity is your problem, try to be grateful for everything you have. Yeah, that's a reflection of what my mom was trying to tell me when I was making my rant about things. It's like, what do I got to be grateful for, huh? That's basically what I put it to her as, like, my situation as it is. This stuff aside, because she doesn't know about this, but take everything else into isolation. What I got to be thankful for, you know? I was apparently put in the wrong physical form. I've been stuck in a job that I don't like most of the time. Sometimes I do. Work too many hours. I can't afford to stay where I am. My relationships have always failed. Um every time I try to change that, I end up in the same or a worse position. Personally, in the life that I'm currently living, what do I got to be thankful for? I was saying to her, and she's like, well, you got your brothers and your sister, and you ain't got me, and you got your stepfather, you got your nieces and your nephews, and I wanted to say great, but my nieces and my nephews, speaking of which, barely even want anything to do with me. They don't hug me goodbye. They don't say hello. They act like I'm not even there. And half the time when I try to talk to everybody else, they basically ignore me. So I might as well not even be there. That's what I feel like. I didn't say this to her, but that's what I felt like. Honestly. Anyway, Allie says, maybe try making all of your AI pictures into shirts for the short term. It's a good idea. If I wasn't aiming for the Apple computer, I would send you more money. I would appreciate that, sis, if you could, that I understand. Problems for both of us. You have too many distractions, sis, and I have too little distractions. Yeah, it's kind of the yin yang thing. You got the opposite problem. I often told you, like, if you were to listen to Subliminal's last, you might have better results, and maybe if I listened to them more, I'd have better results. Could be something to that. I don't know. You say also dreams don't make sense. And you have zombie dreams and school dreams. Yes. What is with that? Like, I know zombies about like the pressures of caving into what everyone else wants usually. If I recall, it's joining the herd and being feel like you're being forced to do that. School dreams are about learning something, but I never quite get what I'm supposed to learn, and I'm supposed to be caving into with the zombie stuff. So I don't know. You said, Ali, that you might have heard the word adopted in a dream. Yad. Um, I sometimes feel like I would be all right if I were adopted into the current family I'm in. And I'll be okay with that arrangement because then the disconnect I feel with people would make sense. Because when you got biological brothers and a sister and nieces and nephews and even a mother, you just don't feel quite as connected to you as you did before. You know, it makes sense that maybe I was adopted, but I know it makes no sense biologically because I look a lot like my biological dad. So you know what I mean? It's just, I cannot describe it any other way. It's just like over the last 3, 4 years, it just felt like I've become more distant from it. And they seem to pay less attention to me. And I'm not an attention whore either. Like, I could be sitting next to somebody talking directly to them, and they appear to be listening to me for a second, but then someone else says something, and that person, what they said becomes more important than what I said, and they completely forget I was talking to them, and they don't come back to me to see what I wanted to say. And I just, several times, I was just like, okay, I'm not even going to finish. I know it might sound sad, but that's the way it is. Alex says it's hard for me to do sometimes. Think of the positive, sis. I manifested you in my reality and not giving up. Appreciate that, sis. Yeah. I try to think of the positive, but today was kind of one of those days that's been hard to do. You listen too much, you say? You actually feel like the deep state once she started zombie apocalypse with the fire shots and cell towers also being adopted would be a big W for your reality shift. Sorry for your siblings. Treat you that way. Makes you feel better. I have no friends in real life, except maybe one person who lives far away from me. Yeah. I appreciate that. Says it's it is what it is though with me. And you know, just try to take it in stride, but it's hard. It's like I even told myself before I went to watch the football game with them, I was gonna not say anything at all. I was gonna be quiet, I was gonna sit there and watch the game, be quiet, keep all thoughts positive or negative than myself. See if anyone noticed. I gotta fall through that one of these days, because if it comes a time where people notice I haven't said a word to anybody, or if they don't notice rather, then that'll be my confirmation that I might as well not even be there. Maybe I'll stop going. Because I don't go there for the attention, but you gotta be acknowledged at least. Someone's gotta show they care about you. Very often, I feel like people do. I know people on the Discord show that to me, and people on the ET channel. But locally, and the people I interact with in person, I just don't get it. I don't get that feeling from them most of the time. My mom is the most that gives me any feeling of that, but she's been all gun-ho into the religion side of things, and that's a point of contention between us because, you know, she pushes me to not keep my mouth shut about what I think about the veracity of the Bible and how I don't understand how it's a fair task for belief in God with very little evidence for God. Like, if that's the task, believe or else. Believe or you go to hell, even though I'm not giving you evidence. For, if you're telling me the evidence is the Bible, I can't buy that. And that's ironic in a sense. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm just going to go with it. It's ironic in a sense that if I were some fallen angel, like I often thought I was, that very much not in the belief that God exists, but the knowing that God exists, why would I be thrust into a life where I don't have any knowledge of that and have to rely on belief? That's not a fair thing. Especially when the belief is so flimsy. Like, you're telling me the only thing you got is a book that's written by mankind? That's got inconsistencies in it? And there's so many other religions out there that claim to have the truth. Aside from that one, there's some religions that don't believe in a singular God even. They believe in multiple. Like, how come you could have so much diversity in religion and nobody agrees on anything? If there's a real truth, you think it'd be plainly obvious. And it's not. So if people wonder why I don't believe, like in the monotheistic point of view of things and the Christianity point of things, or point of view of things, that's why. You know, I've been open to the idea that God is each and every one of us, and it's a divided consciousness, which doesn't make a lot of sense. If in a sense though, because if we're divided consciousness, then I'm a faceted God that even doubts his own existence. And what kind of sense does that make? Like, maybe it's necessary. I don't know. I says no offense, not a fan of football. You like basketball better? Not offended. I kind of flip-flopped on that. I used to love them both, but although I think there's fewer football games and they mean more to me than there's so many basketball games, and a loss means less. That's kind of how I rationalize it, and it's easier to have success in basketball because the losses mean less. You just don't want to have too many of them. Ali says that's actually a good idea because you get more time to manifest. My opinion on religion is it looks like the book of Revelation is coming true, but it's banning subliminals, which is they think the elites are hiding something, and the Bible is even against Christmas rather. Trees and mainstream Christians ignore that, and you call the Bible 100% part of God's word. Feel like I'm having you're leaning towards Christianity somehow being wrong and the elites hiding stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, there's a lot of people I can turn off if I rant on religion too much. I might have already turned a lot of people off. And it's not my intention. I'd hope people could see where I'm coming from. Because I really do feel like I have to be one of the fallen angels or something in human form sometimes. And that doesn't make me evil. It just makes me fallen out of God's grace in some way, and maybe put here to atone for my mistakes and to help humanity and be in service to both him and humanity. I mean, it would have to be that way if I were made human in form, right? And otherwise I would be a spirit in form, and that'd give me too much power. So limiting me in this way makes me more humble in a sense, if that were true. But I don't know. I don't have illusions of grandeur to actually think that's true. It has come to me before, but if I knew it for 100% fact, I would tell you that. But I don't know it 100% certainly, so I'm not going to spout it off as fact, but it's been a feeling. And it makes too much sense for the way things are going because, the life of a fallen one would not be an easy life as a human being. Maybe not the most hardest life of that fallen one was meant to redeem themselves and put on a path towards it, but certainly, certainly not like the because it wouldn't make sense to put such a being on a very, very hard life in if their purpose is to help other people. You have to put them in a like a median position where they're just barely getting by so they can appreciate the things they have, which again has been a challenge for me. But if I look past the complaints I got, I can see it. But I always want more because I always believe I deserve to be happier than this. But I'm also humble enough to realize that I don't want too much. I just don't want to be in debt. I don't want to have to work so much. I want to be able to dedicate my time to helping people. That's it. And everything else that happens positively is a bonus. Ali says this feels like a punishment and to also fix everything that is broken. And also feel like my soul was originally made for a higher position than a regular job. And working on a regular job is torture. Yeah. I don't know if I would see torture for me myself. Not this current job, as much complaint as I could have about it. I don't really feel as torture, but it's more like useless. It's like I'm not achieving a higher purpose with it. You clean up a mess one day, it's back the next day. Like, it's like the equivalent of beating your head against the wall. You keep doing that. You're not really breaking the wall, but you're breaking your head open, and you're causing yourself more pain over time. That might be too extreme a way to describe it, but that's kind of how it is. But yeah, you don't want to be too on the negative side of things. That's a big turn off, So that's never my intention. Like, this might be one of the more negative slanted streams I've had. But it's even then there's been positivity that's kind of shined through. I would hope so anyway. Alice is basically empty without purpose. Yeah, I think purpose is the way to put it, because some of us are okay with doing a daily grind of clocking in to a job weekdays or so and rinse and repeat. If you got a wife, going home and taking care of those obligations, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat until you're too old to work. Then you take in retirement money. Then you're too old to move about on your own. Too old to do a lot of the things like you need to do on the outside of your house to take care of it. And then in the inside of the house, and barely make enough money to get by because you're retired. You're supposed to enjoy your life at that point. Then you get to a certain age where you can no longer do anything at all. You start losing your mind, then they put you in a retirement home where you die. Or if you're extremely unlucky, you die alone in the house that maybe you paid off, maybe you haven't, and you're undiscovered for like a week. Especially if you haven't had the fortune of, like in my case, if things were the worst case scenario, I wouldn't have a significant other to have been with, and I wouldn't have children. And my extended family lives in a distant city, and they hardly ever check in on me on a regular basis. So I could, I could literally die tomorrow and nobody would know for a while the way things go. Not even the spouse that I haven't been divorced from yet because she doesn't think it's important would know about it for a little while. And that's sad. But that's the way it is. I mean, you and the people on my Discord, my YouTube channel would notice my absence, I'm sure, but they would have no way of knowing what happened to me. Because nobody would be able to communicate it. And until, unfortunately, I trust somebody to tell everyone else about me, to the outside world, to the people that I'm talking to, or I'm talking about right now that, wouldn't know I'm gone, to communicate to them that I was, or, or have them communicate to you rather, I just wouldn't be able to do it. So I hope it doesn't come to that, obviously. Ali says another positive thought. It's almost Christmas, which means you should get some time off. Well, you would think so, but like last year, seems like every major holiday has fallen on my weekend. Like, I'm supposed to be on call for that weekend. And I don't know how that worked because last year I did this too. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day is my on-call weekend. There's nothing open on Christmas Day that I think we are responsible for cleaning, but I could be wrong. Christmas Eve there probably is, and that's when my moms get together for that is, and last Christmas I had to on Christmas Eve when I was over there I got a call from somebody who was cleaning a building on a weekend. They were supposed to clean it on Friday, but they did it on a Saturday on that Christmas Eve, and then or Christmas Day, whatever it was. I don't know if it's one day off or whatever, but they told me that they needed me for something. They had a leak in the building or something like that. I had to drive all the way like 50 miles to go check on it. And I was in the middle of trying to celebrate Christmas with my family. That's how stupid that situation was. It's like I can't even leave my house and go hang out with my extended family. The only family I really got right now is my wife left me. And of course, I already went into how isolated I often feel around even them. So, see, Allie says I don't want to work on empty, boring job for 4 years straight. Yeah, you definitely don't. You want to try to avoid that if possible because that's the system. That's what they do. It's not slavery in the classic sense where you don't get pay, but you get barely enough to get by in life because they keep raising the price of everything. And then you eventually die of old age. Hopefully not alone, but you die and you spent your entire life doing nothing but work, and the work you're doing is to benefit someone else, and not in a great way or anything like that. It's usually a good or a service provided that really, when it comes down to it, many of things people don't need really. Like people that work for like an electronics company making TVs and cell phones, and people don't need these things, but they got them and they want to buy them. Food, I understand, of course, people that or responsible for manufacturing food products. And but the point is, though, no matter what you're doing it for someone else, and they're paying you a fraction of what they should be paying you, and they're working you more than they should be working you. That's the truth, no matter what you do for someone else. Ali says, jobs and retirement sounds like complete and total control. Exactly. That sounds awful with how your family is treating me. You deserve better than sis, more than me, and I love you. I love you too. Actually, according to your claim, you already died once. Very possible. I experienced what I think was death and a brief hell, because it felt like hell to me. What I would imagine hell to be, this not being able to stop. Like, it's gonna sound silly, but the countdown in my head, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, over and over and over, and not being able to shut that up, that felt like hell. And laying in a room where nobody's checking on me, trying to figure out what's going on with me, feeling constant random pains on my body, losing my mind for, I don't know how long it actually was, but felt like an eternity to me, just laying there. Feeling in danger, trying to escape that environment, being tackled and shot full of something, being told I was given a death shot and put down in a room on a like a gurney, basically, in the middle of a room. After witnessing them loading bodies into trucks. I mean, it surely sounds like I was killed. Experienced some form of hell to me. To know that people here in the current reality seem to act differently and remember things differently than I do on a few things. Like I am in an alternate reality, like I took over another me's body who maybe experienced the similar type of thing to me, except they didn't die where I did. Maybe they're the lucky one though. Maybe their consciousness moved on to quote unquote heaven, but I stayed here in their body and I'm still punished. I don't know. It's hard to say. I says sounds like a very horrible job. Says maybe try something with Etsy and use the AI pictures for money. It's an idea. This seems like every time I make a stride to do something better, I get halted. It's like that job I applied for a month or so ago, or 18 months ago. I remember exactly when it was. But, I asked for basically too much money, and it immediately put me on the reject list, even though I thought I was being reasonable. So, see. Hydra says hi, hello. Ali says then the government robs you of your money and with taxes and ridiculous taxes like property tax. Yeah. So that's the sad thing about, like, I'm paying a mortgage right now, so even after I pay my mortgage off, I'm gonna get a property tax bill at the end of the year, and they're gonna want that money. And if you don't pay your property taxes, they can seize your property, which makes no sense if you paid for your property. What right does the government have to tax me on land I own? They're basically saying they own this entire country and you're just renting space on it, which is crap. That's not the way it used to work. Hydrolus says, yeah, understandable. I says, the choice sometimes feels like mental hell. Yeah. Hydrolus says, it's hard, I agree. I do choose to build my way to success, though. Ashton says, well, hi, Bethy. Hello, Ashton. How you doing? It just says, yeah, welcome to my heart, Bethany. I appreciate that. It's always nice to be in someone's heart, of course. Allie says, seems like the force is holding you back from fully manifesting, and we're all debt slaves to the Federal Reserve. Yes, to both accounts, at least. Definitely the Federal Reserve. I don't know about someone holding me back, but it sometimes feels like it. You know, the easy answer is I am holding myself back somehow, but I haven't been able to figure it out other than the negative emotions, which, despite what you probably heard in this particular stream, I don't think it's that prevalent. I think I'm more positive than I'm negative. It's just days like today are just kind of set me back a bit. I tend to take like I said, sporting events a little too seriously sometimes. And I look at them as the small things in life that are supposed to make me happy. I can get my team to win now and then, and in this big moment, have them win this big game. And then I'm going to feel great this weekend because something small happened, because it really is small. It's not that big. Really. It's big for the people that play the game. And it's sort of big for the fans, but it's not like we have direct involvement. But no, the other team won and they blew him out. And, not to recap too much on that, but that's what I faced. So. Ali says I'm more negative than positive. We gotta around. We both do. Whenever we're negative, we need to be positive. All of us. Hydra says, at some point, though, we should build successes incrementally rather than that's cutting off some of that. Seek defeats. He says part on the battle. Well, I would agree on that. We tend to focus on the negative because it's I think negative emotions are the most strong emotion to latch onto if you're exposed to it the most. It's very magnetic. And conversely, it also makes you crave the extreme opposite emotion more and more because it repels and attracts at the same time. It repels in the sense it doesn't make you feel well inside, but you attract more of what you experience. And that's what the mental hack's all about. You gotta try to take the negative stuff and turn it positive because you have that complete under control. Your reaction to the negative is what controls how much negative you keep receiving. It sounds really simple, but that's basically how it is. And even I forget that sometimes. It's just far too easy to fall into this blame the universe or blame some higher power for misfortunes that I experience in life. If I were to look at it like I manifested everything into being that has ever gone wrong, even this football game not going the way I wanted it to, I somehow manifested it. I owned up to it and tried not to figure out how I did that, but just say that I did it. Then I would empower myself and know that I bring everything into being. And if everyone took that approach, maybe we could shortcut our manifestation ability. Not try to understand how we're doing something, just know that we are, and just try to be as positive as we can. Hajula says that's perfectly fine. Alice says, I honestly don't want you own a house or a car? Idealist says, yep. I'm assuming you mean to what I just said. I hope so. But yeah, it's basically that. Just turn the frown upside down. Another way to put it. It sounds ultra simple, but that's what you have to do. We have, a lot of people want to say emotions aren't a choice, but um, they are in a sense. I mean, you can and feel the initial negative emotion, but you can choose to turn it positive. It's when you feel something negative, it's all programmed into you because it's a negative feeling to have something traditionally negative happen to you. But we all inherently know what feels bad to us because we've had bad things happen. We know what we don't like, but we're under control of what we do with what happens to us. So we just need to, well, I already said it. Just turn it around. Empower yourself. Hydrola says, need anything for me? Agreed, and feel my warm hug from the other side of the screen. Appreciate that. Appreciate it very much. Ugh. Answer your questions, though. The only thing I need really is things like that. Is just support. I think we all need support. We can't do it entirely by ourselves sometimes. Um, we have to have some outside perspective and voice to bounce off of and actually consider. Because sometimes you can get so lost inside of your own mind that you can't see the forest for the trees right in front of you. You're like, oh, all I see is trees. I see trees. But no, there's a forest right there. Well, I see trees. No, there's a forest. So are the trees. It's many, many trees. And there's birds. There's insects. There's wild animals in there. It's a whole ecosystem. Nope, I just see trees. No. There's more than what you see. Sometimes you have to look beyond what you see and try to see what you don't see. That does sound strange, but look deeper than the surface. We have the Jeremy on says, yeah. And then Hydra says, yeah, I also feel like I could use some more emotional support. That you're doing nicely. That's good. Sis, there are many people that, have like support systems that they frankly don't appreciate very much and take full advantage of, and they feel alone sometimes. They feel like like a situation like me, you can't come out to the family you got and say, hey, I know that I was born male, but I'd rather be female, and if it were possible to immediately change that, then I would. But if we could just be more free to do that, and trust our support system of our family and stuff, and those who are meant to be in your life will be in your life, and those who are not being, sometimes it takes a while for people to come around. Damn, it's a big thing to drop on somebody. But it's not that simple as just revealing it. You have to live it too. Well, at least, in theory, I mean, I have this idea that with enough time and patience, you can manifest a complete reality change without living it before it happens, but you might be in for the long haul, as opposed to just letting go and letting it be now. Even if you don't look it, you'll start looking at the quicker you embody. Hundredless is well aware of that. I do what I can to spread the positivity, empowerment. That's good. The more people that do that, the merrier. I wanted to have this huge reach myself to get some type of positive messaging out there. But I feel like I fall short a lot, especially when I don't do many of these and I don't put out content on a regular basis. I also feel repetitive with my content. I do male to female stuff a lot. That's basically because I put out a lot of what I am achieving, I should say, instead of trying to achieve, because I am achieving it to a certain extent. I've had progress, but I also want to help the female to male people out there, obviously, and I want to do other things too. Requests tend to be more of the female or male to female slant. So whenever I put out requests, that's what that is, and time putting anything out. So here you go. Juliet says, or I'm missing somebody here. Hey, Ali says, my mom would be horrified and extremely upset if I said to them that I want to be a girl. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a big thing. And you've got parents, I would imagine, that are very religious or on that kind of slant, grew up in that kind of thing. That religion kind of does play a role into how be of this. I've found people on the conservative side tend to be very anti-transgender or that's one way to put it. I like to think there are a couple different categories of that. Even like there's people that see themselves as wanting to be the opposite sex and cosmetically altering themselves into the best approximation of that. And there are other people that see themselves, like I'd put myself in this category, who want to like change reality so that I am actually the opposite sex and I won't settle for the cosmetics. You know, if that makes any sense, because that wouldn't make me happy. I know what would make me happy. I mean, if it makes other people happy to just do the cosmetics, then fine. More the power to them, and I want to help them too, but that's not my journey. That's not for me. What am I missing here? Angela says, much is on the logger hall, doesn't need to, but same defaults, undefined, could better, but that's contextual, okay? Super chats, if I had those, would be nice so I could know who's directed at me or not. But I couldn't monetize the channel, as we remember. That was another roadblock that got in my way of any extra financial stuff. Of course, making people pay to talk to me is not my idea of something I ever wanted to do. So you can kind of scratch that notion. That's, wishful thinking in a sense. Nolly says I do the exact opposite, cis, in terms of creating content. And, okay, that must be directed at Ali. Let's see. Content distracts the... It's okay if you have conversations with yourselves too. I don't want to read people can see it on stream, and I'm just looking for things that are directed at me specifically, if I can tell. There's not much religious, but my dad's father, Ali says, was a pastor. Okay, well, that's pretty religious that if he was a pastor. So it'd be hard to break out of that. Unless he turned full atheist or something. Hydrolus says, I feel for you all. Appreciate that. Just hope that we get there on time. Hydrolus says, yeah. I think everyone will if you just keep plugging away at it and turn positive creative energy. That's what it takes. Positive energy is creative force, and then negative energy is a destructive force. Destruction sometimes has to happen for creation, though. Sometimes you gotta destroy what's already there to build something now. But if you destroy what's already there, it takes a longer time to build something back up. So that's why we say positive energy. Build upon what you already have. Don't try to destroy what you already have and start from scratch. I guess that's why they say appreciate what you already have and love the body you already have, which is a very hard sell for a lot of people in my position, and many people's position here. But if you can get yourself to that point where you love the body you already have and acts as if the body you already have is the body you rather have, the more you'll have the body you'd rather have. It's the positive energy that does it more than anything. Let's see. Thai says, I'm focusing on the subliminal that fully turned rosary the most. And I had a few results recently that I posted on Discord. Well, I've been thinking mostly with that one myself, too. Of course, I've always had this problem with losing my memories of the current reality, which that subliminal has involved in it. But my rationale is if it worked on rosary, which it did, then it's got to work on more than her till. Those that may be more comfortable with letting go of the past, then I try to get myself there. I've told myself there, if I forget this life, for the most part, and I have my memories of being female instead, and that's the only difference. And that changes quite a bit in my life, though. But everything that has transpired to this point still happened, more or less. I still created the channel. And maybe it was for a slightly different reason, but I still created it. And everybody that's got benefit from this still got benefit from it, then great. Like a merging of realities in a sense. Hydrolus says, love yourself and outshine the nuts. Yeah, I agree there. Just skimming through here. Ali's talking about your mom sees the law of attraction stuff on YouTube, but never shows you subliminals. Or, if I'm understanding correctly. Okay. Hydrolus is about to leave the chat. Understand if you have to. Remember to shine brighter. Hydrolus says, for yourself and others too. Very good positive message there, and everyone needs to remember that. That basically sums it up in a nutshell. I suggest maybe this is a test for you to completely let go of your old life in order to fully move on. Could be. Now he says bye and thanks for your advice. Yeah. Yep. Well, Hydralisk, thanks for coming on. It's nice to see you on here, and like you and everyone else on Discord, I like to talk with you more, but you know how it is. This is probably the most I've chatted with you in a while, and even Allie, I may have been behind on responses and stuff for quite a while, going quite a toward a month. Lil, I gotta pay something. I just remembered. I better do that really quick. Speaking of bills I don't want to pay. If I don't pay this one, I could get garnished on my paycheck. That's the scary thing. This is the medical bill that came up from my hospital stay I was talking about earlier, one where I thought I died. I had $6,000 owed, even with insurance. And I'm down to $5,300 now. That just shows how much medical companies are a bit of a scam and a ripoff. Ali says it's cases clear state of situation. God, I'm going to hate taxes when it gets that hard. Oh, I already hate them. I hate them quite a bit. That hospital doesn't deserve money from me, Ali says, after the treatment of me. Yeah. Well, it's like I said, and I totally agree with you. You know, if you go to a hospital for what they diagnosed me as, according to what they said, and I had to look at my paperwork to figure this out because nobody ever came to me and said, hey, you had a psychotic delusion. That's what their diagnosis was, but nobody ever told me that. No one ever sat me down while I was in that psych ward and said that to me. And explained it to me and said there was, what's wrong with my brain or anything like that. Why I wasn't able to fall asleep and none of that stuff. It's just, that's what it said on my paperwork, and they gave me medicine, set me on my way. The medicine made me feel like, basically drool a lot like a zombie and just walk sluggishly and slowly and not feel like myself at all. So it wasn't really doing me good, and it didn't make me feel any less quote unquote and any less psychotic or anything. And I never felt psychotic to begin with. I felt very much myself, but very much enhanced, like I was tapping into other realities and stuff. And the reason why nothing was manifesting to everyone else was because I was seeing things from different realities that they couldn't see, because I was on frequencies that were fluctuating. That's the best way I can describe it. Anyway, my gosh, what time is it? Ooh, 5:39. Well, I can go another 20 minutes, I suppose. I gotta get to bed here pretty soon. I was gonna like play a game for a second, but I got sidetracked and people hopped in here, so. We will be on for the Discord meeting on my Discord tomorrow at, I believe I said 10 o'clock Central. So you can join on there and leave some feedback for me. Ali says I can too, sis. Yeah. Yeah, just whoa, a few day. Whoa, here goes the yawns. I got those all day most of the time, but like that's the only symptom of tiredness I usually have. I don't like feel the fatigue most of the time. Well, I suppose I could pull open my YouTube channel and see what comments I haven't checked on yet. Oh, I want to show people so bad how bad my roof is. I'll save that for some other time. I need like something like $10,000 to get that fixed. Because I think that was the cheapest price quote I got for some new shingles. I just hope every day it doesn't like start leaking. All right, what we got here? Fierce Steedy Megatron says, "Hi Bethany. Been a while since I used your Subliminals. There are quite a few questions I'd like to ask about this one. The Fudo one. Read the description, but I was still confused. Question one: Would looking at a photo of who I would like to become help, and would I be able to choose my new species? Final question: Is there a limit to how many female and male parts I would have? That was 3 days ago. I didn't reply to that one yet. Wayla says, wow, a long live, yeah, it's went on longer than I was thinking because I didn't see people pop on there initially. I was going to rant for a minute or two, and then if it had popped on, I probably would have just quit out. Maybe wouldn't even have left it public. If that was considering, I was like, yeah, as long as I got some people pop on and answer questions. Let's see. Question one photo. Well, first of all, hello, and one, yes, looking at a photo could help. Two, she is a species. I don't have that in the script. I don't think. I don't have that. Don't have that. If I could type, I have that in the script. But what your mind is limited to is what you believe. Which is literally true, people. I always say that a lot, but it is. Final question, limit time to more. 3. And no, not 2, 3. Scenario. You would have a combination of male and female parts to your liking, but it logically has to make some biological sense. That's the best answer I can give for that. It's like I don't go, when I make the scripts, I don't go into extreme detail about everything that people have questions about, which unfortunately makes it hard to answer the questions sometimes, but I think I'd answered that pretty well. And your guys are not seeing this. I could pull it up on the screen and make this a little more interesting. It'd take me a second though. Window capture, maybe? No, not Microsoft Word. I need comments and mentions. Yeah, I figured might as well do this rather than just doing things and just talking about random stuff you're not seeing. Try to get this as big as I can get it. This needs to move down beyond the logo though, so it's not competing with the border or anything. Okay. There we go. Then I need to go back to that window. Music is very relaxing. User XJ3XT 5BZ2ZY says, love your videos. Heart that comment and thank you. Hit like on my own. Why not? You can do it. So, I like my own comments, so sue me. Has anybody got results already? Now that one's 11 days ago, Jeremy Varian says. Let's see, I don't know of anyone from this particular one that I at least one person will we change. There we go. Same question. Already answered. That it only got one more? How does this one completely surrender become? Oh, how does one completely surrender becoming Riaz? I've had this question before, and I don't know quite how to answer this other than immerse. That's not the way you spell immerse, apparently. Immerse? Help me out here. There we go. Immerse yourself in Rias and her character life. Imagine yourself in that world and put your identity as her, no matter what your current reality seems to be. That's the best way I can put that. All right. Any holds and out for reviews, comments? No. Okay, I think we got it caught up then. Unless there were ones that people replied to that I didn't get notified of. There's one, maybe. How long do subs take to work? Jacob Ella says. When Yalis is born as people instead will be born as baby again. Bethany, you have a crush and you really do? The amount of time they take depends on person to person. How much you believe and feel positive, act as if it is already true. The idea is your body changes and then reality rewrites around you. You don't experience birth and life over again. There we go. Chat window over here. It's being covered up now. I can't see it. Gotta fix that. I think I know what happened there. She go back to here. The comments live chat needs to be over top of the window capture. There we go. Ali says basically keeping the live stream going. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you've been here the entire, well, almost the entire time. We had another 11 minutes, so probably call it then. I was just gonna scroll through a few more of these. Because sometimes it doesn't notify me of replies to replies. I guess YouTube might be on checking my own likes. So I could have swore. I always do this as a habit. It's not a petty thing. It's just like, you know, you got the option to like your own comment. You know, might as well show at least one person yourself likes your own comment, right? It's just kind of like, why not? And if they didn't give me the option, you know, then obviously no, but not necessary either, but I always do it. Well, plus, if I like my own comment, it doesn't show up as an unread or anything. So, does it hurt badly when you transform? Or you question how would a person the village transformation really urinates rather when the transformation limited? See here we go again with a question that I really don't know the answer to. Is it's gonna be now if I had experienced the full change, or maybe I could give an answer to this. Rosary might be somebody who might be able to answer these questions, but she doesn't remember a lot of stuff. From what I understand, she wrote a notepad, which you can check out on my Discord. Wait, I don't know if she documented everything. And she didn't use this one. She used a different one. So, I don't know what to say to the reply on this. It could hurt, but it does not have to. It happens how you want it to, but pain is a side effect of a faster change. So if you are not willing to feel some pain, it will probably end up rather painless, but could take longer. If Bethany could spell, which is a challenge for her sometimes. That's why I like autocorrect. However, keep in mind I am somewhat speculating because I have yet to endure I must not a full change myself. What else we got? Live chats. I haven't really been paying attention for a while here. Okay. It says missed a few minutes. Not notifying equals some censorship. Yep. You would definitely hurt at least at certain times. Yeah, I was gonna say that on the comment too because that's certainly the case. Minimize that window when that happens. I need to figure out some way to keep the chat window separate so I don't accidentally do that. It's like I can make a website link of that and paste it there, but it doesn't doesn't actually take you to the live stream you're doing is what I'm trying to say. Take you to a generic page. So I've tried it already, how to figure something out. Second question. This I don't know how to answer on the urination thing again. I would imagine that you wouldn't be put into a position where the urethra would be in the middle of changing while you need to go. I would suggest, however, to empty your bladder before each session, just to put this out of your mind. Pretty good advice, I hope. Like I said, most of the time I'm just kind of doing speculative answers because I don't know all of the answers to these questions. Scary Game says, okay, thanks. I said, no problem. One to help. Not glad TP help. Had to help. Glad TP help is a situation that's entirely different. That would be a situation where you're an orderly or something and you need to TP help. Help, you know, I'm not gonna say it. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. I don't want to get into toilet humor. Pardon the pun. Another one down here. I think I just hit love on that comment. That's about the offering this to sing a version of this song for me so I could do instrumentals of it and longer instrumental parts and then cut the voice out. That's the limitation of the AI thing. It'll generate lyrics in a voice and an audio track and it'll put them together, and then if you use another AI tool, it'll separate them. There'll be artifacts of the AI voice still present and it doesn't completely remove them, so you don't have a clean audio track, so it sounds funny when you try to play it. So it just sounds better and you leave it as it is. Layla says, oh, I'm missing. Yeah, okay, she says, I think it'll hurt just for the genital part. Possibly. Ali Mo says most favorite part. Leasing my boss hasn't hit me yet. Probably getting close. Layla says, think would be cool to swap genders anytime you want. Hey, I would sign up for flipping back and forth as an ability. No question about that. That way, if I had a regret about it, it'd be an instant reversal, but I don't think I would have a regret. So that's why I haven't wanted that ability necessarily. I just want the one-way direction because, you know, I'm sure about it. I've thought it over quite a bit. So any other things on here though? We got about a minute left. Yep, nope, not seeing anything I missed. Let's go check the other, possibly the other channel. That's an idea. I haven't been active on it for a while though, so I don't. Let's look though. That's the more complex one. I gotta make a animated character every time I do it. Nothing any held for reviews, nothing to hear. There's no, I'm probably not gonna see anything there. Alright, well, that is nothing to worry about there, since I get nothing. I could reapply for channel monetization for fun. Maybe. It may not let me right now. Okay. Well, I won't let me right now because I don't have one video upload in the last I need 3 video uploads in the last 90 days. But I only have 1. Because it needs those 2 requirements and then one of the following, which I got the watch hours done. So I need to upload more to reapply. Not that this is going to go well anyways. I think we're going to still have the same problem. Although I think some of the problem was those Zelda live streams I was doing had some content ID claims on the music. For the temple parts. And I think that could be one thing they were seeing, even though I had those hidden or whatever. I have not deleted those from my channel. If before I delete those, I would want to save them onto my computer so that I can re-upload them at some point if I choose to. I don't want to lose that content. That's the problem with trying to retool a channel. That's why I was almost just gonna say, you know, never mind with this one. We're not going to try to do it, and that's pretty much where I'm at right now. Anyway, that's why I went to that second channel, but that second channel has 94 people subscribed versus my channel I'm doing this on, which is, let's see what we got now. 11:46. So be nice if everyone who was subscribed over here would go there and do it too. Because that would be monetized friendly. Anyway, I think I went beyond my 1 minute. I was looking at what we got for few last comments, and then I'm going to call the stream, I think. Ali says, probably a waste of time, sis, since YouTube hates sub makers. Yeah, probably. Monetization is a waste of time since YouTube hates sub makers. Layla says, see ya, Ali and Bethany. See ya, Layla. Thanks for coming on. If you want to stick around, if you join the Discord meeting tomorrow night, we can see you on there and have a further chat. I won't be streaming it on YouTube, though. I might record the stream from Discord to my computer, though. I can figure that out. It's probably just a screen grab. That way I can review it later, just to remind myself of the things we were talking about. Because I'm not going to be typing. I'll probably be doing voice like this instead of typing. And just kind of just monitoring and kind of reading what people are saying and then chiming in now and then. I want it to be mostly between everyone that shows up to talk amongst themselves, and then if there's a direct question for me, I might have a separate channel that you can put those on, so that I don't clutter up the main discussion board with stuff for me. But anyway, I think I'm gonna call a stream right here. So thanks those who joined, and for those who didn't, for sure you can always check out the replay. I'm not gonna private this one, just like I didn't the other one. And sorry this is the main content you've been getting lately, but hopefully I can have some more subliminal content up, maybe even some superliminals up, the ones that are more audible, because both types can be useful. It depends on, the more resistance you have to something, the more subliminal is better for you. But it's like I also say too, if you're resistant at all or something, you probably should work on releasing the resistance to that first before you try to affirm it to be true in the first place. So, yep. Ali says, night, Maurices. Good, I guess I'd say good morning / night to you too, because as I'm going to bed, it kind of applies for both for me. Now, we'll see you on Discord tomorrow. I think it goes around 10 Central. I recall. I'm going to pull this up just to make sure. Maybe it was 9. Make sure I tell everyone the right time before I sign off. Got to install some updates first, of course. Would have been doing it tonight if I didn't have to go, or last night if I hadn't gone to watch that game. I forgot that the championship game was going to be on the Saturday here, so that's why I didn't it's just scheduled for Sunday initially. Anyway, let's look at this here. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock Central. Not 10. So I think I scheduled it from 9 to 10, but it could go longer. It's okay if it does. I just thought at least an hour would be enough. Anyway, with that, I'm going to end it there, and we'll see you then.